Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a September reading for you. I am laying out using the horoscope spread where I lay out a tarot card at each cardinal point of a solar chart. Excuse me. And I will be clarifying with a new deck called Tales from the Tarot. I'm not sure if that's the exact name, but you are all welcome. I appreciate your spending your time with me. And let's get going, Aries, with your overall energy. The Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is definitely about you making a decision, making a choice. Overall, it is as much about integrating the lessons from your past into your present situation so that you can begin to map out your future. Because it's Pentacles, this is about very concrete resources and time. And this is taking a very linear approach to something that you're planning, something that you're projecting into the future. It does indicate that you have made a tremendous amount of growth in your particular opportunity to shift some significant aspect of your lifestyle, your location, how you live, where you live. So there is more than just a simple choice about a discrete item. This is really more about the material way in which you frame your life and how you are adjusting that to move forward towards a new, larger plan or project. In the first house, I'm not going to read the 10th house first, as sometimes I do. The first house, we have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is the area of your focus, your attention, the habits and routines you're cultivating to move yourself forward. And one of the things that is of primary focus and attention for you right now is your relationships, positive experiences from the past. This can be as simple as connecting with people you used to know, revisiting places you visited in your youth, certainly and generally happy times, a lot of creative activity. By creative, I mean playful, enjoyable, imaginative. This is child's play, doing something that you naturally do well without an expectation of turning it into a job is an example of the kinds of skills or gifts that you may be re-experiencing or that have come to your attention through connections with former places or people. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your foundation, your past, we have the Eight of Cups. And I see you moving from a strong base of familial connections, intimate bonds, significant bonds in your life in order to pursue a vision. You are ready for a new challenge. You've gained all that can be gained, at least you feel so at the moment, from a certain situation. You're no longer learning anything from the situation. You don't feel it's routine, and you're ready for greater significance in your life. You're ready to release these bonds. That doesn't mean throw them away, but it means move forward beyond these relationships to activate some plan or vision that you have. This is a deep and significant challenge in your life. In the seventh house, the house of your significant relationships, and that is with people, groups of people, or things like goals. The Ten of Swords indicates a really thorough closing out of a cycle of perhaps failures, disappointments, or opportunities that never quite manifested themselves in a way that felt fruitful or productive for you. In fact, this indicates the end of a deep healing cycle in which you have actually come to recognize the necessity for you to have gone through some very harsh experiences in order to release those, understand that you're someplace else, that you've moved on. You're not this person who freely gives away their energy, their power, their talent for other people's benefit without equal benefit to yourself. And something about perhaps your former relationships, something about your past or happy memories that you were able to reconnect with, that you are reconnected with, is allowing you to refresh this picture, to make this transition away from the parts of your experience in the past that were hurtful, that you needed to separate from, that represent a clearing away of things that no longer serve you, and an opening up through this completion to a new opportunity. In the 10th house, this is where others are respond to you, your social identity, the way others see you. Certainly the strength is making perfect sense when we look at the narrative of this reading so far. And the strength card is really about the silent power that you have to persevere, not only persevere, but to give, to care for, to heal from the heart, even when it is not recognized by those that you're supporting. This is you supporting others with the understanding, with an enlightened self-interest that helps you to believe that the improvement, the support of one uplifts the entire project and the eventual success of something that you've invested a lot of your heart and soul into. So you are continuing on this journey where you have been uplifting others. You have been supporting others because you can, because you are that powerful. And at this point, you have gained so much maturity, inner strength, and the ability to recognize the larger way in which your healing talents, whatever they may be, are able to improve the situation for others, and that naturally has a reciprocal impact on you. I'm going to clarify in the first house, the Six of Cups with the Eight of Coins in the second house, and the Six of Coins in the third house. So you're definitely, absolutely invested in developing yourself. This is something you have been committed to, and you're working diligently at perfecting elements, components of your craft, be that your self-expression or the way that you're producing products or services, so that you are recognizing that any improvement you make in yourself impacts upon the larger team, the effort, your collaborators, your environment. You're also in a position as a result of this reconnection with events and relationships of your past, really working and experiencing a shift in the way that you are in relationship, in the terms that you are giving and receiving, so that you are striving for greater balance. In the case of, and I'm just going to take a wild guess here, Aries, that you are an automatic caretaker, particularly among friends and intimates. You are recognizing that there's a way in which you can pull back and allow yourself to receive the same kinds of attention and support that you give. And in so doing, your intention is not to deprive anyone of support, but to amplify the sense of care and nurturing that you need. So you're rebalancing the scales in your behalf so that you are cultivating the ability to receive more. The Eight of Cups in the fourth house is clarified by the Hermit in the fifth house, and the Nine of Wands in the 6th house. So the Hermit in the 5th house is really painting a picture of the reason why you are leaving a comfortable, well-bonded environment behind and moving on to a greater challenge, because you're feeling as though, and this is after repeated attempts, many attempts to learn, craft your expression, the way in which you are creative, the way in which you build, and the process of art making, creative expression that is gratifying to you, pleasurable, and is somewhat collaborative. You have earned the right to be who you are. You have done the work to know who you are, and you finally are feeling yourself at a place where this must be expressed. You've done all the internal work. You've learned the lessons. You've consulted your teachers. You've sought the advisement from those you respect as authorities so that you can internalize your own sense of authority. And now this lamp must be shown on the world. The study you've done, the inward questing you've done, now must be shared with the world. And this, again, is at a place of perfection. You have 2 nines in a row, so you have perfected the ability to find the answers within yourself. You've made many attempts and taken many opportunities to grow in this direction of your own authority, your own expression and inspiration. The 10 of Swords in the 7th house is clarified by the Temperance in the 8th house and the Page of Coins in the 9th house. You have absolutely learned to be patient with yourself, or if you haven't learned that, Aries, you are learning it. There is no way that you can rush the process that you're engaged in. You're anxious to get started to build this new product, this new thing, this thing that allows you to express your authentic self. But you're still in the stages of exploring and learning about the best way to produce that. Along the way, though, the bigger items, the things that you want to describe, that you want to record or document, that you want to share, are still requiring patience in terms of the way that they unfold for you. This may be in the actual medium that you use, if you're a visual artist, if you're a writer, if you are a small business owner. Your ability to work with others, to manage the resources that you share with others, requires more patience and more time. In the Egyptian deck, and I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but the Temperance is actually the Grand Alchemist. And in that regard, one of my earliest revelations around this card is how Temperance, or the Grand Alchemist, alchemy as in a kind of magic, affects its work is like a water dripping on a stone. So there actually is very little magic to this physiological evolution or transformation, but it does require time, and time is the great healer. So you are prepared to begin something new, and you're indicating to yourself what that is. The Strength card in the 10th house is clarified by the 2 of Cups and the 5 of Coins in the 12th house, the 11th house. I'm really sensing that you have really worked at shifting a kind of mindset that you were perhaps conditioned into, as so many of us are in a culture that glorifies wealth, abundance, excess, and consuming. You may have come from a family where you always had enough, but it was very frugally managed. And if, like me, your parents were born in the Depression or lived through the Depression, there is a way that nothing was wasted. There was always a thought to a time when there wouldn't be enough. Even if that wasn't your reality, that was part of their mindset as a way of explaining how we inherit sometimes this sense of not enoughness. And this not enoughness translates often to the way in which we are labeled and seen. And that is something we tend to internalize this. Over the last years of this great, I call it the great healing cycle that got kickstarted to some degree by the pandemic, you have really understood, despite your happy or unhappy relationships, that the most powerful relationship that you can cultivate as someone who has an expressive voice, who has ideas to share, is the relationship with yourself. Really supporting yourself to be the person that you are, honoring and respecting yourself, and that includes your gifts, your knowledge, and what makes you unique is part of what is the thing in your life. This is a significant partnership. If you are in a significant partnership, this can be a powerful friendship or business relationship. This is a deep connection that supports your highest aspirations. So there is a sense of partnership that is helping to guide and support you and cheer you on in this really creative process at this time. So I hope that this is resonating for you, Aries. I'm going to pull a Soul's Journey card, and my goodness, I did shuffle these before, so they have been well shuffled. The card I selected is the Success card. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. I'm so happy with this reading. Thank you so much, Aries. Until next time, namaste.